Hello. Hi. Well, in the end, I rang the Facebook Missing Episodes discussion group and they said, we know nothing about missing episodes. So they're clearly banged to rights. Shall we have another go, chaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in episode 1, Mike and I got into the Moffat era a little bit, and then when Richard joined us for episode 2, he felt that we needed a bit of balance because we were being intolerably cruel towards little Moffat-y Waffety. So what we'll do, if this sounds okay with you two, is have a talk through the era. We'll read out a couple of emails and notes along the way, and then at the end we'll sort of I know others have scored the era in terms of a school report, so I think the 42 to Doomsday guys gave the Moffat era what I thought was a very generous C+. Generous, Mike?
I think so.
Too generous, Richard?
C+, I think that's probably fair-ish. Maybe the plus is a bit on the optimistic side.
Bit of a turd polish. I've got to stop saying turd polish. So keep an eye on your scores, fellow, as we go throughout, and then using our own Planet Mondas Forum unique scoring system, we'll deliver our own scores at the end and see if we're in some sort of agreement.
Yeah, Tim, a couple of weeks ago you floated the theme of this podcast on Planet Mondas Forum, and the debate's been going on ever since.
It has, hasn't it? It's still going.
Have you had a look, Richard?
I have had a look, and what's more, I've digested some of the discussion. I'll bring it up at the appropriate point when we come to those parts of the discussion.
Okay,
well, we'll see if our opinions are borne out in the PMF comments. That should be quite interesting.
Yeah, although, Tim, before we do, one of the notes we had was from Huey, of Huey Logic fame, from down there in Tinseltown in Sydney, and he asked, should ratings either up or down inform about the success of Stephen Moffat's producer's run? What we've decided is not to look at the ratings, Huey, because they fall throughout the era, and that's against the backdrop of a change in which TV is viewed and a period of general falling TV viewership. So, yeah, sorry about that, Huey.
And the other thing is, Ginger Cat said it'd be really boring if we looked at figures.
True.
Although, what I might say, and I don't know if there's any accuracy of the science to this, but the Christmas episodes seem like a decent snapshot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd think that has more of a traditional viewing pattern. I don't know, but I think people still gather around and watch the TV on Christmas evening, after dinner and...
Yeah, well, it's a bit like the Christmas service at church. It's the way that we bring people in, and it's the shop window of the show. So if you're not interesting people at Christmas, then you haven't got a lot of choice, a lot of chance of bringing in new viewers any other time.
Yeah, and Tennant, the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the final Tennant episode had 12.2 million people see him off. And it was just 7.9 million saw Capaldi off. So that's a heck of a drop, I think.
Yeah,
and there's no question that Doctor Who was a big thing in this country. During that period, during the David Tennant era, start of Matt Smith, it was a big thing. I mean, it was almost. It was hard to believe, really, as a long-time fan, that Doctor Who would be a thing that people were interested in. But they were. There's no question.
Toys in the shops.
Yeah.
Toys in the shops everywhere.
Look, there are all those misty-eyed schoolgirls who just love David Tennant. They used to watch it in their droves.
Yeah. Anyway, should we start off with a look at Series 5 and 6?
Okay.
Yes.
Why not?
So here's some thoughts on